match, disappointing first half loss. It was very error-filled game.
Well, you basically explained the game there, Dobbo. If you're completing at about 61%, and I think we had 18 errors, we just we put so much pressure on ourselves, but that comes from the opposition. So they came here and applied pressure, and we had too many errors to be able to put yourself into a game like that. When you play high quality teams and you've got to build pressure, we just definitely didn't do that. So that's something there, we just spoke about there. We just got to get back to the game that we know that they can play, and it'll be up to us, and we all need to chip away at making sure we find that game this week.
Disappointed you missed the jump again.
Yeah, well, that came from the errors, Pete. I mean, we did put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and I think we didn't get the long game, I suppose, that people talk about, where you kick it into the corners, and when you don't put yourself into a position because of the pressure you're putting on yourself, fatigue finds you, and the game eventually got to that stage. So unfortunate.
It's only round one, and obviously it's a long season, but did you see that coming? Like, I know the loss overseas, when you guys came back very strong in the second half, it just seemed like they just couldn't find their rhythm at all tonight.
No, the last couple of weeks we've actually been really good, Dobbo. It's one of those nights tonight where we just got to keep working away at finding what we know we can do. And you take away half those errors and put yourself in a better field position. Well, the whole game's different, but to their credit, they put pressure on and they forced a few errors.
What was you thinking behind the switch in Ezra and Ben? Did they come late to you? Was there an injury behind that, or what were you thinking?
No, we thought about that throughout the week. I just felt that just having the Ez coming on, and we obviously didn't get our start with the way the game rolled. We didn't put them under pressure. We didn't put the fatigue into them, and having Ez come on the way we know he can, he then wasn't able to show himself the way he can play. So that's part of building a whole game.
Did you put that as a blip on the radar when you put a line under it, or did you go back and say, we've got a problem here? How do you look at a loss like that?
I wouldn't say there's a problem, but it's just something that we need to make sure we work hard at. We had uncharacteristic errors. We had drops where they shouldn't be. To the credit of our boys, they actually forced a fair few on the opposition too. But where we were turning the ball over, we just put too much pressure on ourselves.
What did you make of the ground? Did you feel it was flat out there, or did you sense any body language was?
No, Madge summed it up well. Too many errors, penalties. You give a side like that amount of ball, and it's always going to be a tough night. So, I think we had 18 errors, 61% of the ball.
Yeah.
It's always going to be hard to win games.
How much was that conditions out of, just that it was so muggy and sweaty, as Matt said, Penrith made some errors as well?
Yeah, both teams were playing in the same conditions, so there's no excuses out there. We just need to be better with the ball. I mean, we had simple errors in the play of the ball, mistakes that we don't usually have. So obviously we need to go back to train and work on that, and obviously be much better next week.
Short week can work in your favour, Madge. You can wash it and start. It's obviously a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
So that gives you a benefit of reviewing and then getting on with it.
Yeah, and we'll definitely do that. I'll talk about the group. They're a pretty tight group. They're disappointed, but what they'll do, they'll go and look at their game. That's one thing that they do really well, and they've been able to capture that. So they'll be thorough amongst each other, and they'll be chasing their best game.
Everybody playing with injuries? No injuries?
No, we're all good.
Do you think there's an element how your team will lift this year when you are hunting in ways? Do you think team will lift this year and raise the bar against you week to week?
Peter, I think that was more around how we played today. I mean, credit to Penrith. They put the pressure on, but we didn't do a few things that we spoke about. So they're tidy ups that we need to make sure that we get back into our game. So as you said, Dobbo, we get a short turnaround, so we get back into it.